everyone. Thank you for choosing to listen to Shadow Radio. This is Amanda. I have Tre and Brett here with me. They're going to be talking about Patterson Inn. So, first question, what was the purpose of going there for you?
The reason why we went to the Patterson Inn, obviously, we were going there to see if we could capture any paranormal evidence and to catalog that evidence while we were there. So, with that, I mean, other than that, we were going there just for that main sole purpose, because that's what we do as an investigation group, is we go to different places, catalog those things that we are able to capture, and we share it through YouTube with everyone else so they could see.
And it was just a new fun place to go to.
Definitely a fun place to go to, new to our channel, and interesting place that I think we'll circle back to in the future.
For sure. All right, so next question. What was the most interesting thing that happened that night for you guys?
I wish that I could say that it was the most interesting, but it seems to happen every damn time we go to a place. I get fondled or touched or grabbed or groped or something like that. But I did. I got groped again. I don't know why I keep getting groped and I keep getting messed with, but it seems to happen every time.
Yeah.
Most interesting thing for myself that happened at Patterson, other than Tre getting groped in front of me, was during our 3 a.m. challenge. We were in the bar area. It felt like there was just almost like a time lapse. It felt like when we were in there. First time it ever happened on the channel, where it just seemed like a matter of minutes turned to a matter of hours, I guess, when we were doing the 3 a.m. challenge, because let's face it, we went in there and next thing we know, it had been 2 hours.
Yeah, it did. It felt like a really short amount of time. But it was 3 hours.
2 hours later, two and a half.
I found myself having an intelligent conversation, and it seemed to only be answering my questions.
Yeah,
and it was
yes. It was always yes or no answers, and it was with the ball. And we would go up to the pitcher, ask questions. Very interesting. At 3 a.m., definitely the most interesting part of the night for me.
I was having a conversation with a female, and then all of a sudden it seemed like there was a male that jumped in, and I was getting a little jealous.
That's how it was during our EVP session, too. I noticed, during when you and Kyle were asking questions, and I was wearing the headset, I also noticed, there were two females that were mainly talking, and every now and then there would be a male or two males that would try to overbear them a little bit, or keep them from talking. One of them, it seemed like he was trying to keep them from talking and maybe sort of overbear their opinion a little bit.
It was very funny because I don't know if it came off as jealousy or what, but at one point, and it seems a little silly now, but it was like I was arguing with this arguing with this
spirit.
Yeah. And just, I don't know, it seems silly right now because, to most people, it'd be like you're arguing, with yourself. You're having an argument with yourself.
Right.
And it just seems silly, like me fighting or arguing with someone that isn't there.
Yeah.
That we know of. But I don't know. It was definitely interesting.
Yeah, the Patterson, it was just, it definitely an eye-opener. Opens your eyes a little bit. The history, love history. Every place we go to, there's some sort of history to it. We try to make sure there is anyways. And a lot of times, there's discrepancies in the history of most places. So we like to make sure we get as much of the history as we can.
And it's very interesting as far as the place is we go to, like, around here, our own home state, as opposed to Colorado or somewhere else.
Right.
Like, it seems like there's so much more shit that has happened in those other states or those bigger cities, and
that people have access to and they just don't realize. Also on top of it, because like around here, there are places like that, but they're hard to come by.
Yeah.
People either
they're
sitting on them or they don't.
There's just like Colorado compared to Melbourne, Iowa.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, obviously in Colorado, there's been a hell of a lot more things that have happened.
Yeah.
Historically, killings.
Just the area that
yeah.
the Patterson is located in, on top of it, is the fact that it sits on Capitol Hill. Just that alone. There's so much history to the Capitol Hill area for Denver itself. And, that's where Denver started,
Melbourne, like, obviously there's crap that's happened and it led to that, but there's been a hell of a lot more that's happened in Colorado.
Right.
So I think in those bigger cities, in those bigger states, there is going to be more that ramps up.
Oh yeah, and
than in Melbourne. I know there's shit in Melbourne, but it's not like
it's different.
those.
It's different.
It's just a different
feel to it.
Like, you go to these small town cities and you hear some of these stories where, like, there was a I was watching a History Channel documentary where this lady was literally practicing, like, doctoring.
Oh, yeah.
But she literally starved these people to death and was just taking their money. Literally bringing them in and starving them to death and killing them. And
Right.
she was the one that was putting what their cause of death was. So, no one really thought of it until there were so many people with the same cause of death that it was funny. But, there's that type of shit that happens in small towns. And then there's, like, in big cities where it's just so much more.
Yeah, there's literally, like, the Denver area. While we were there, we heard a shooting. We also heard that car that backfired when it was passing the house. We captured it when we're in the tower. We thought we heard something, and then we all confirmed that it was the car down the street, still backfiring. The Patterson is just, it was different. It was definitely different. The people were very hospitable. The hospitality of the workers, and the chef was amazing. Breakfast was so bomb.
It was.
It is.
Oh my God, it was like gourmet. I'm like, holy shit.
It was amazing.
But when you go from a small town where no one wants to talk about this type of thing to literally go into Colorado where they're having literally haunted tours walking 24/7.
And not around October.
It's that it's just a whole different level.
Yeah, people,
For sure.
The fact that around here, I always get asked the question, why do we do what we do? And I say, we do what we do to catalog and prove that there's evidence out there of some sort of activity happening. Whether